Oh hey internet, what is up? Welcome back to the Type Q channel. Welcome back to a new demo. Just hit Steam called Railgunners. Demo 1.1. They came on a day like any other, raining from the sky, destroying everything on their path before we even had a time to notice more than half of the planet was wiped out. Through the sacrifices of many lives and sheer luck, the brightest minds of science managed to escape into a secret underground base away from the enemy's eye. They pulled every resource, every idea to find a way to fight back. And now we have found it. A giant fucking gun. Of course! Humanity took quite a beating, but now it's finally time to strike back. Get through the mothership shield and blow up the main reactor to finish them for good. Now, who is willing to give it the first try? So we got 3 pilots of variety stats you can see on the right there, from a sort of overall good to a certain heavy but slow, fast but weak, that sort of thing. So we're just kind of stick to that. Now this is a very strange game, and I don't know if I want to say very strange game because I think I can kind of tell you it's a mix between 2 games. You know, it's of course, you know, your shmup, you know, your horizontal scrolling shmup, you know, shoot things, make them dead, try not to get them smashed into your face or you die. It's that sort of thing. And you can see we have a kind of a kill counter, so our sort of strength will increase the more we kill without being killed ourselves. However, as you can tell, there's like a progress bar on the top of the middle screen, as well as our sort of life gauge here, as we're going to take a nosedive without actually taking any damage. So it's kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Welcome back, pilot. Seems like the teleporter is working just fine. I thought I was going to die. What if the teleport didn't work? But it worked! Thanks to what we retrieve and analyze the ship's data. Blah blah blah. The data collected will depend on how well you performed on the last mission and how far you got. Once you return to the hangar, you can use the data to upgrade your system. Go ahead and give it a try. When you're ready, head to the cannon and prepare your next launch. So as you can tell, it's kind of got this roguelike ability, where it's like a roguelike feature rather, where you can kind of do the best you can, but it's not possible to succeed in the first few goes. Then you upgrade your ship, whether it's your sort of life, the power of your gun, or your regenerating ability when you kill certain enemies. And now it's run 2. So it's interesting. So it's got that sort of, you know, I dare say mobile game quality to it, where, you know, it takes multiple upgrades to make progress. And it's all about little tiny runs in the overall experience. And I haven't ever had really a lot of experience with that. However, you know, I can't say whether I loved the idea or, you know, hated the idea. However, you can see I played 40 minutes of it. Was it 40 minutes? Yeah, 40 minutes of it, so take that for what you can. Take that for what you may. So we picked up some more points after that pretty abysmal run. Not enough to really put into any upgrades. But as you can tell, there's a bit touchiness with things. You know, the hitbox of the ship, I don't think is particularly accurate or really tight. There's some hits that are certainly my fault for just being an absolute trash person and running into things and getting hit. And then there's other times where I'm just baffled that, you know, we got hit. I mean, that shot in particular was a little weird. So I think our hitbox is slightly larger than the ship, believe it or not, which is not really what you want to have for a shmup game, I would say. You know, a lot of times a shmup game will give you like a you know, a block of pixels in the middle of your ship and say that's it, or it's the ship itself, not really larger than your ship, or at least that's what it appears. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that, you know, the mobility of the ship kind of slow. So keep that in mind. So kind of like we're showing right here, you got to commit to something or not commit to something, because you can't really go halfway. You go halfway and you're going to get run over. Primarily because the range and the fire rate of your ship is overall pretty sad as well. You know, when these aliens attacked, planet Earth really didn't make its best weapon. It made its like, I don't know what it made, but it made, an aeronautical nightmare of a ship to fly. The thing handles like a trash can floating in the air. You can see that the range is not too significant, and the fire rate is really not that significant either. So as you can see, we're like, oh, I would love to take down this, cluster of bad guys, but you don't have the fire rate to really spray down enemies, or the range to really preemptively, sit down and clear off enemies. You really have to get right in there and make sure every shot counts. However, getting a 25 times multiplier and getting double shot essentially certainly does help. And one final thing we'll discuss on the next run once we upgrade our power, it appears. Okay, and for the final thing, I would say, is that when it comes to your sort of area of movement, it's deceptive with how little you can go up and down. You get cut off. Essentially, your invisible ceiling is kind of somewhere in those clouds, so you can't really go as high as you may think at first, or as low as you. Of course, you've got the ground. So you either can't go down there or you'll crash and take damage. Sure, but yeah, like midway through those clouds, there's an invisible ceiling. So you're boxed in quite compactly between moving slow, you're constricted to certain areas, just getting the fuck beat out of us right here, and also having to deal with a ship that does not fire very much or for very long, and yeah, multiple other sort of squirrely things. But okay, so my gripes aside, like, because it means a demo, it can be that stuff can all be like ironed out. The main, I think the main crux, or rather the game loop, as it were, the general sense of the game, I think it has an addictive quality, having to, kind of understand that, you're not going to beat the game your first try, but it's all about, the roguelike, it's all about the, the experience points essentially and the upgrades. And then just, yeah, kind of, there's no bad run, you're always rewarded something, even if you go out there, smash, get crushed by the next 3 enemies, you're going to come away with some points. Oh, smashing into enemies and other things. That's another thing I want to say. Holy fuck, is the damage unforgiving. Holy balls. And I mean, I could understand taking damage in a flying machine, certainly. But holy shit. If you get a chance to look at our life bar when we get hit, not only do we lose our point, there it is right there, bam. At this point, it's kind of like, what's the sense of taking damage? Everything cripples you absolutely so much, to the point where it's like you take 2 hits, maybe at full gauge, and you're here to sort of hold on to your asshole type of red gauge now of like, oh shit, we're going down. But looks like we've made it to the second segment of the game here. I don't think this is this our first time crossing it? I forget now. This actually may be. And we can kind of see there's the ending there at the end, so kind of mapped out there on that line there. Kind of gives us a feel of progress. We are being fired out of this gun again. And one thing that they're not really conveying right now, but later on when we get some more upgrades and whatnot, we'll be able to show you more about when you get fired out of that gun, you turn that sort of blue, you become invulnerable, and you can actually just spend a good 3 or 4 seconds just smashing into everybody as like some sort of sick revenge for them beating on you while you like pathetically unupgraded like we are here. And you can see that we take a lot of damage. But that's just the sort of, I think, you don't have the rate of fire to really take the offense. It's almost like a fencing, where you have to know when to kind of, for a lack of a better word, pull out. Get in there, get your attack in, and then pull out. What are we gonna? I guess we're gonna hold off on our points there. Maybe upgrade our health more, or rather our energy, our ability to stay in the fucking air. You think that'd be one thing that we would take care of our masterwork against the aliens? Yeah, you can see that our bullets really, really only go halfway across the screen, if that. Propulsion, not a human concept, I guess, that we're grasping very well. Whether that be an aircraft or like projectiles, I guess. And I think we're just asking for it, like sticking in between those pink projectiles. Our hitbox being as questionable and vague as it is, we're just inviting death. Got saved by some damage there. You find that we kind of find this wall of invulnerability as we transition from point A to point B. So luckily, maybe we did take damage there at the very last second. Now that I see that we're like our gauge of fuel is back on E. I mean, the idea is also to upgrade your regeneration, but you find so many few enemies that give that sort of energy away that it's kind of like, just give me fucking more maximum energy and I'll get us through 50 runs later. So essentially, I guess for now that we've kind of crossed everything from mechanically, that's the sort of game that Railgunners is all about, and and whether or not you like the sort of the tiny gameplay. I guess, can you call it? I don't know if it's proper. I can probably call it tiny gameplay, but the sort of like, go out there, know that you're gonna get killed. You know that you're not gonna you have the stats or the stamina to kind of go the distance, but no, hey, it's pretty much I'm going out there and farming. Jesus, we get fucking killed. Go out there and do some farming and kind of get better. If that's your thing, I would say particularly for like beginners and fans of mobile genre games, I think this is perfect. I think the art is quite a bit better than what you may find on a mobile a general mobile game. I mean, there's some really knockout mobile games too as well. God dang. You can see we can't. There are times to commit to shooting down guys, and then there are times to kind of just retreat. And it's all wrapped around our rate of fire, which we can't really we can't really upgrade. The only thing we can upgrade is the power of the shot. So when it comes to range and rate of fire, I think those are just kind of static to whatever character you pick. But yeah, graphics, are decent enough. The music, I have to imagine, I have to say is there's a lot to be desired. When it feels like a very generic, you know, electro beat type of thing. Nothing that's gonna say holy shit, like pulls me into the game, or like I want this soundtrack. Very much, I mean, very much I would say generic video game techno. And I wouldn't even say, the type of, generic Nintendo techno that kind of encapsulates, famous, or like, legendary type of stuff. Just the sort of, it's there, it's was it Devil Engine? Devil Engine. Not to speak of another game while playing a different one. Devil Engine is a game with a soundtrack, or at least one song. That's with the first level. But game music, I bet is not the easiest thing in the world. So as you may be telling now is that we're actually starting the game further on. And it's getting us a lot easier to come to this sort of second area with the purple sky. And I think once we crash this run, we'll be able to see that more clearly. There you go. Another head-on collision there. There we go, a little power upgrade. Yeah, we started off at 5 there. You can kind of see that they're clustering a bunch of enemies there at the beginning. That's pretty much a big, stack of bowling pins for us when we have that sort of blue fire, covering us. We can just ram right in the whole lot of them, get some bonus kills out of it. You can tell we are already at 30 right now, kind of just already skipping into the next level. So yeah, we have our like life bar there on the top left hand of the screen. Also indicates what character we picked, but that's sort of all those the squares there. No idea what that's for. that just remains blank. I mean, maybe that's a bomb for or space for other items, to be further developed. I'm not sure, but it is just hanging out. But of course, I've kind of left it kind of vague on whether or not I truly, as we take a giant shot to the face, that I truly like this sort of game type. It's interesting. It's certainly addictive. So I guess there's that. It's got that sort of, God damn, if I only had a little bit more gas in the tank, I could have done this. There we are. Smash right through those JOs. Yeah, alright. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, at 25, pretty much. Almost out of the gate. Some pretty bad dodging, but all the same, our nebulous hitbox doesn't really do us any favors. Yeah, you see there where as much as I wanted to take out these sort of take out those enemies, like you just have to kind of like give up on them last minute, going, nah, I don't have the fire rate to really clean up and play defense. I have to, or rather play offense. I got to get the hell out of here. Nothing for nothing. Back into the gun. Yeah, these guys that have that sort of shell you shoot off and then they sort of ram into you are probably some of the bigger bastards in this game right now. Primarily because if your weapon fire is, just that sort of single fire, they can become pretty annoying. When they first arrive, they do that single shot together, and then just kind of wait for you to kill them. But if you don't have them in your sights, from the onset, they're going to run into you, and you can't afford to take more than 2 hits in any run, or you're pretty well toasted. Yeah, that's pretty much how you take care of them, with double shot with that as well. And if nothing else, they add more problems to the screen, running around like a bunch of jerks. Yeah. How about that? That was, I think, a little questionable where our hitbox was. I may have to go back to that and kind of put that on slow-mo, huh? There you go, just crush right through them. Yeah, there's a little bit of wear out the hitbox going on here. But as I kind of laid out my gripes, you may have to consider that they're intentional as well. To make sure that you do kind of meet your end earlier than you really would intend. Just so you can kind of follow in the loop of upgrading your ship and enjoying the game that way, which may have been the original intent of it, Yeah. Yeah, and it gets really, really silly in this area when you get your single fire and just kind of hope you kill things. And hoping sometimes looks like it does more damage than your single fire. Except for these, like, sort of laser gates. It looks like that you can pretty much take care of them as long as you can kind of keep an eye out for the other half that explodes when you kill one half. Got our double fire, but I don't think that's going to matter much. Right before the next stage, we crash. We could have bought a regeneration upgrade there. Chose against it. I think obviously the energy upgrade is going to be more of a necessity, of course. And now they're damn near rocketing us to the second stage. Which I don't know what to think about that. The whole game is about kind of, getting as far as you can, through your upgrades. If they're pushing you along anyway, it's kind of like, it's kind of like, what am I doing this for, you know? I'm not going to, look a gift horse in the mouth, really, but take, that was on us. That was something. Standing there and getting that bullet in the head. Be wary of tails, I guess, too. There's our energy upgrade. I mean, the only thing to really be worried about is getting into the next level, like propelled into the next level, with like single fire. So that's probably why they added that sort of the bowling pins of enemies in the beginning to just kind of get a good 20-something, combo off out of the gate. I mean, the goal is, of course, you want to go as far as you can, but you do need to kill enemies. I mean, they're essentially going to be fueling your ship once it's, in air. So as much as as much as it would behoove you to kind of just avoid everything, eventually you're going to crash with that. And the idea is to kill more than you take damage, of course, which doesn't really leave you much room to make any errors. Like 2 hits and you're pretty much on life support. Alright, surely we're going to cross to the next level now. Or not. Who the fuck knows, right? We'll take all this damage the last second. Alright, but before we do, HQ respawn. Damn it, I lost signal and that thing was not on the radars. Well, what do? Let's blast that thing to hell. So we've come across our first boss, whether it's looks kind of like a mid-stage boss where we're at 61, but the good news is that our life is kind of frozen. We can see that even though we're in the red, we're not going down any further. So that's pretty good about this guy. Granted, we're not going any further in the sort of level here. We're kind of frozen at 61. Our points are going up, which could matter to somebody, but at least our energy isn't going down. Oh, shot down like a dumb asshole. So at least now we know, midway through this level, we have a enemy boss to take care of. It's so bizarre to see this frail ship be propelled through with speed through all these enemies. It's like, maybe that's what we need to do. Stop upgrading this stinking ship. Upgrade that gun more. Make that gun shoot me faster and longer. That's the way to do it. And maybe at that point stop firing people out of it and just fire giant missiles. Obviously the weakest part of this whole operation is the ship and its pilot and its measly yellow bullets. Fucking stuff the thing full of with cannonballs or something. Or Angry Birds. That's a different mobile game, I feel. Oh, bad dodge there. In a past life, we may have been fast enough to get through that, but not with the General Lee here. The sort of Dukes of Hazzard ship. A lot of people lost their goddamn mind about Dukes of Hazzard a few years ago, huh? I forget the frigate was about, but like, you know, like present day now, nobody gives a shit about Dukes of Hazzard until, what was it, like they were cut from Netflix, or I don't know, something happened about them and a bunch of people immediately gave a shit, and then 2 or 3 weeks later nobody remembered Dukes of Hazzard, and they continued not giving a shit. Anyway, the colors of the ship remind me of the stupid car in that stupid show. But even now, as you can see, we're being propelled quite quite a ways into level 2 now. So we are like, at this point, just being kind of rocketed at the feet of the boss at this, you know, really at this point. But still, you can kind of see, like, once we're hit, things go real sour with the old single fire. I think we're just playing for points now. God, you see how many bullets that guy took? I mean, that's... Oh, that was a bad dodge and a half. Can't really blame the hitbox for that. More regeneration there. Yeah, that's how it's done. Killed like 3 enemies, and now here we are going to the next level. Got some decent energy absorption right out of the last part as well, but just keeping us at max, I think. Yeah, pretty wise move to not kind of commit to that last enemy. You know, and where not every enemy has energy to kind of give you back, you know, it's kind of, I can't say it's advantageous or what the fuck am I saying? Disadvantageous to kind of know your battles, you know. Like, who's to say that one enemy you let go actually is worth killing, you know? May not have any, like those energy bubbles inside of it, you know. You know, kind of like that, you know, the last 3 segments of this sort of worm guy. Can easily let those go. Alright, back to this boss jerk. No damage or life bar, really. Oh, and there's our invisible ceiling claim that hit on us there. You know, essentially that attack sort of slightly, you know, follows us. So it's a bad idea to already be, like, you know, either high in the, you know, screen or in the bottom, where it can just kind of pinch you in, which is exactly what happened to that last attack. These lasers pretty easy to take care of, as long as you know that, you know, you just have to keep moving slightly. I mean, that's a lot of the attacks. It's just kind of, you know, move slightly out of the way. However, those sweeping lasers there, when he pairs one right after the other, that can be a little silly. We'll get to that point in a little bit as well. There's a sort of giant mass of lasers. We've conveniently tucked ourselves away from. Here we are, these sort of sweeping lasers. Yeah, that one, when he does the second one, a lot of times that second one just kind of spawns a bit quicker than the other. Got hit there. Luckily to be able to recover our second shot, but pretty much in vain there, but now getting a lot of points. There we go, full energy now. So we should have the sticking power to combat our inner demons now. Look at that shot right into the second area. With our single fire, which is a little bothersome, but hopefully we can take on some of like the little triangular, there we go, like little bird guys here. Are they bird guys or like flying like fish from Darius or something like that? I don't know. Can't really say what they're intended to look like. They're aliens, of course. They do kind of look like sunfish, I suppose, or these sort of is it sunfish or angelfish? I forget now. That have that sort of flat, like triangular shape to them. Those fucking tails, my god. Getting really close to not having enough damage to take down him. Yeah, and I think that kind of spells our doom there. You know, we don't have enough power to take these things out, so we kind of tried to skate between them and got punished, of course. We're gonna run out of some gas, I think, but maybe not. There we are. We don't have a whole lot of... Excuse me, a whole lot of health. But hopefully we can take this guy down without being hit. That would probably be the overall plan, I would assume. Sweeping laser of sometimes cheesiness. I love the targeting system that doesn't quite know where you are when you're sitting right in front of it. Yeah, that was a little something. Another sort of, should be paying attention to see whether or not that actually hit us. But yeah, the sweeping laser stuff is a little subject, as we pick up a little upgrade there and fired out of this cannon of hell. Now directly into the second level. And then, yeah, bursting through a few of those guys as well. I mean, it's to the point now where we're at 0.50 now. 60 will bring us to the boss, so we're really like just kind of cradled here now. And that's the weird thing, we've never had to even upgrade our gun or anything, you know, maybe that should have been an option, upgrade your gun so you can start off, deeper into the level. There's a few upgrades, as well as like range and shot speed, maybe your cannon as well, your cannon strength. Maybe a sort of invulnerability shield where it ignores your first hit. or first couple hits, depending on how many upgrades, you know. There's options, there's things. Alright, don't get hit by these lasers, you goof. What did we get hit by? What did we get hit by? I mean, there we got hit by the laser, but what? Yeah, here we are accepting our death. But what for that first one? What the fuck did we get hit by? Did we run into the boss? Did we fly into him? Obviously, that's a little hard to do as we sat on him just now and didn't get damaged, but oh well. No sense being salty over a demo, you know, the game is still being developed, I imagine. There's another upgrade. You like the length that you turn like invulnerable and Super Saiyan in the beginning of a run and smash into things. A lot of upgrade potential, I think. But yeah, as we're like now rocketed to the boss with full health. You know, I mean, so this is Railgunners. That's the game loop essentially. You know, playing the level multiple times and to the point where, you know, you're upgraded and beefy enough to pretty much take on the world. So, like, even now, I can't say I'm not sure if I love it or hate it, but it's certainly interesting, and it's a pretty decent casual game, I would say. You know, a game that certainly doesn't deter you or punish you too much, despite the fact that you are dying over and over. You know, you're rewarded something for every run. So, you know, it's certainly one of those games where if you are, you know, not looking to, like, learn a scoring system or you know, not looking to 1cc a game, you know, the sweeping lasers, that second one can be a motherfucker. You know, if you're not looking for, you know, a commitment, you know, from a video game, you know, I think this game could kind of scratch your itch on a Wednesday or a weekend afternoon, you know? Yeah, this guy's getting pummeled now. I mean, we were up to 170 multiplier. You'd think we'd get 3 shots now, but not is the case. Oh, got hit there. Oh, but luckily we're gonna trade hits, and there we go there. HQ? Pilot, you vanished from our radar. It seems there's no more of their defense systems. Tell me something I don't know. Proceeding with the mission. Over. And a bunch of energy, I suppose, for the next area. But that's it. That's it of the demo. Good golly, Miss Molly, we did it. But that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff, and we'll come back and play some more games in the future.